agent that was busting up sex trafficking. And the stories that he told me were some of the most compelling things I've ever heard. And he said, we can do so much more, Glenn. He said there are millions of children that are being sold, and I have seen it because I have I've worked in this cesspool now, trying to break them up. And he said, and there are kids that are beyond our government's reach. There are kids that maybe are just getting lost in the system. And there are kids all over the world, and they go from place to place. And he said, we can save them. He started talking to me about new software that a software developer that had made that could track these guys who are sharing these vile, vile movies of sex with children and children being raped. And he said, and we know where these guys are. And he asked for our help. I said, I don't know what I can do, but I can sure tell our audience about it. And when I told you about it, I didn't introduce you to him at the time because he was still undercover. And when I told you about it, you reached in to your heart and came up with, I think, almost $2 million or $1.5 million to help start rescuing children. And we haven't really talked about it since because I've been a little skittish on everything. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I could talk about, what I couldn't talk about. I didn't want to hurt anything that was going on. But I made this guy who was undercover promise me that when it was really ready and they were ready to show what they had done, that he would come back. Tonight at 5 o'clock on the Glenn Beck program, I'm going to show you the video that has been made of some of these sting operations, and it's going to tear your heart out. I mean, it's in a good way. It is going to show you what is happening to our children and how young these children are, and then the rescue of children. And you're going to meet this individual face to face. Now, he's with us now, and you know him as somebody else that has been on this show before. And you know him as a very smart writer. That's what I thought he was, just a great writer. No. He is a great writer, but he also was moonlighting on the writing gig. His real job was to go save children. His name is Tim Ballard, and he is with us now. Hi, Tim. How are you?
Hi, Glenn. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, welcome back. I'm glad, first of all, that I can actually, say your name on the air and show your face on the air. And can I just start there? How weird was it to live a double life and to lie to people?
More than weird, I think it was hard. It's a lonely world. I can't tell people, even my wife, I can't tell her everything that I see and do, and I flash back to nights when I'm kissing my kids in their beds and they're sleeping, and almost a pang of guilt because I know there's this other kid that I haven't found yet, or a group of children, and there's nights where I would just sit on my stairs and just cry.
And your wife didn't know?
My wife is so awesome. I can tell her, she'll hear anything I have to say. And she knew most of what was happening, but there's things I couldn't even burden her with.
I can't imagine, because I've heard you talk, you have had to describe to judges, et cetera, what was happening to these children. And you have seen them over and over and over again. And the most vile of vile. How did you balance that? How did you live that? I could barely see what was happening to my country and live it every day and have to fight against it every day. I can't imagine what you've had to live with.
When I was first asked to do this, I said no. Over 10 years ago, I said I can't do this. And it was a lot of prayer and fasting and confirmation that I need to do this. And so I've been helped in that way. When I go home, I generally can turn it off. But there are times. I remember one time I was having to review these videos, and these kids are we're talking 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, even younger sometimes. These are the kids who are being abused.
What you're going to show tonight, you bought
show some of this.
You bought two kids. They were what, 4 and 6?
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
That's right.
3 and 4. Just bought them. You'll see it tonight. Just here's the money. They don't even know who he is. Here's the money, just give me the kids. It's unbelievable.
And that's what's going on. Nearly 2 million of these children trafficked, sold.
And Tim, you go into these places undercover, and you make these exchanges, and you do the transaction, and then you have a team of like special ops people who come in and arrest them, or some sort of law enforcement.
This is an important point. We always work with law enforcement. We always come through the front door. Yeah. We want to make sure that these traffickers or these monsters go to jail. So we go into these countries, we offer these services, we go undercover, we offer our software, and we stay till the job's done.
It's been really tough because I get the emails from you before you go into a house or a country to do this, and you'll say, I mean, one day was horrible because I was following you all day, and you'd say, 3 hours, and then you're like, okay, here we go. And we waited and waited and waited. And because somebody in the government was, I don't know if it was they were dirty or what, but the whole thing fell apart at the very last minute. I mean, the kids were waiting. You had already seen the kids, right?
I had seen these kids. I had looked into their eyes. And my only consolation was, because I was with the trafficker buying these kids, my only consolation in that moment, as I told you in the emails I was sending you, was in 1 hour, in less than an hour, you're going to be free. We're going to liberate you. And
these kids looking up to this guy like, dear God, what is he going to do to me?
And that's one of the hardest things. They look at me. They think I'm the next monster. I just want to reach across and say, no, we're going to save you. You're done. And that's one of the hardest things. And then doubly hard to find out, triply hard to find out that a half hour later, when the sting's about to go down, it's called off. And the kids were literally 100 yards from us. And now I'm not going to reveal where this is, because we've actually made some headway. We're going back and saving these kids. We've been watching them. We're going to get them. And I hope to come back in a couple weeks and tell you what happened there. It was one of the darkest moments of my life to watch these kids.
We sent Mark Mabry with you this last time, and he brought a camera, and he was going to cover this, but he actually became the guy, and you'll see it tonight. He became the guy who was doing the actual buying. You have, how many people are on your team?
We have anywhere from 6 to a dozen at a time.
Okay. And you go out and you pretty much wine and dine these dirt bags.
That's right.
You came in and you have to look like you can really afford it, and you guys are a bunch of guys just out for kicks or whatever.
Right.
And you went out, and he was the buyer, and you were just the kind of the broker, right?
The broker, that's right.
And how does that go down?
It's interesting. I called Mark. I was 5 hours from getting on the airplane to go to Haiti. And I called Mark, and I said, Mark, I know this is last minute. Do you think Glenn will let you come? I need you down here. It occurred to me, slavery in America didn't disappear until the people rose up and the people had to know. The people ignored it for so long, just like we're ignoring this problem in general. Until people like Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote their book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and people got this horrible thing revealed to them, and they stood up. I said, Mark, I need you to be Harriet Beecher Stowe. I need you to come down, and I'm going to do something risky. I'm going to put you front and center, which that was a tough decision for me to make. I want you to look into the eyes of evil. I want you to hold slavery in your arms in the form of a child, so you can go back and tell the people what we're doing and what this problem is all about.
You will see what he wrote and photographed tonight at 5 o'clock. We'll be releasing that, and also a 9-minute video of the face of evil and what it looks like. And it is surprising. And this is not something, this has been done with the help of Jerry Moeller, who's become a friend of ours. And Jerry did Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. And we talked about it when we first met. I said, guys, nobody's going to want to look at this. I mean, you've got to find a way to make this a good thing, because with everything you want to deal with, hey, everybody, let's get together at 5 o'clock and let's watch kids being sold to dirtbag sex traffic, into sex trafficking. Nobody wants to see that. It has to be done right so people see the happy ending. And it is. It is really a remarkable thing to see these kids who are living in horrid conditions. I can't even imagine how they even function.
It's horrendous. And something Jerry told me, he said, Jerry obviously won the Oscar for Schindler's List, and he said, if we could have made Schindler's List in 1941, imagine what we might have done. Here's our opportunity to make Schindler's List in 1941 for this problem. We're able to show the world right now while it's happening. And so we're so encouraged and we're so excited about that work. And most of all, I'm excited. I want to thank you, Glenn. I want to thank your audience. These children who we've rescued in dozens. We've rescued dozens of kids in the last couple of months. We've only been in existence since you launched us, really, at the end of last year. Thank you. Thank you, Glenn's audience. These children who we have saved have no voice. And so we have to be their voice. And you've allowed us to do that, and you've allowed us to rescue them. And I cannot express my gratitude on behalf of my team, but mostly on behalf of these enslaved children, my gratitude for what you have done for us. Thank you so much.
If you want to find out more, or if you would like to donate, I told them that they had to come back with the evidence of what they could do and how many children they could save. You just saved 28 children in this last trip?
That's right.
28 children. And how much did that cost for the 28 children?
Unbelievable. It was less than $20,000. A private military company to do what we did would charge you $200,000 just to start. We did that whole operation for $20,000 because we know how to do it.
So this is something that you can donate to if the Spirit prompts you to do it. I will just tell you this. As I left that meeting with Tim, my attorney was with me. He said, Glenn, you can't do this. You can't be involved. Everything that could go wrong on this and everything that could happen, and then you'll also be the face of it along with Tim, and the drug lords and the sex traffickers aren't going to like you even more. And so, you just can't do this. There's no way you can do this. And I said, well, we're going to do it. And he didn't say anything. And we got in the elevator, and the elevator door was closed, and he said, so tell me your thought process. I broke down in the elevator, and I said, if you have the opportunity to save children, we know what the Lord says about saving children. We know what he says, millstone around your neck if you would hurt any of these. You have the opportunity to save children. How could you possibly say no? If there is anything that would be protected, if there's anything that will have opposition to it, it will be this. But if there is anything that you will see the Almighty's hand, it will also be this. I would ask that you would go to Our Rescue, O-U-R, rescue.org, where you will find all of the information and a way for you to donate. $5. If you could do $10 a month for every month or whatever, anything. The average donation now is about $100, and you would be surprised what that $100 buys. $15,000 just bought 28 children, and we will show it to you tonight in an unbelievable story of triumph and courage and loyalty to what you know is true and right. Go to ourrescue.org and find out all of the information. And, Tim, we will have you. Is Jerry and everybody in tonight?
Yes,
okay.
Jerry's here.
So you'll see this amazing 8 minutes and some behind-the-scenes stuff of what happened, and talk to the people who are actually doing it and saving these children tonight. And the reason why I really wanted to show this and show this right is because this is work you did. While Tim and his guys went out and did it, I sat in the room when they didn't have the money. You provided the money to save these children. This is your work. This is what you have done. You want to say, I made a difference in life, I made a difference in the world? Watch tonight at 5 o'clock. And if you didn't donate last time, there is today. And if you missed today, there will be tomorrow. But watch what we can do when we stand together for what's right. OurRescue.org.